Hello, and welcome to my Bujo Journal with Me video for the month of November. This month's color theme is peach. This one is being uploaded late as I actually hadn't filmed it until a couple of days ago. I had plans to film it at the beginning of November, but things got really rough and I wasn't in the right headspace to film anything. Shorty passed away on the 8th and it's taken a few weeks for me to start feeling like myself again and getting back into a creative space. So let's get into things. November's spreads were intended to be simple, so I didn't print out as many pictures this time as I normally do. When planning out the spreads a few weeks before, I wanted to do the calendar on a piece of peach colored paper that's like the same size as the picture on the left, but it turns out that I don't have peach paper or many peach colored stationery and craft supplies in general, which is why I chose a more simplistic theme this month. I ended up having to scrap the idea when I realized I didn't have the colored paper that I needed, but I wasn't feeling creative enough to come up with an alternative, so I decided to just move on to the weekly spreads and come back to the monthly later. Truth is, I had plans to hang out with my best friend who I haven't seen since March, and I had about an hour to film, and these usually take me 2 hours minimum and 4 hours at most. I figured since the spreads were fairly simple and I had the spreads pre-planned that I could easily do it in that time, and frankly, she's almost always late for things, so I often tell her to come sooner than I actually need her, because I know she'll arrive late, which is then actually on time. Like reverse psychology or something. So I honestly thought I had a bit longer to work with, but she actually showed up on time and I was the one not ready this time. What a twist. All that said, I was rushing slightly through the spreads, which is why I didn't have time to sit on it and take my time building my spreads. I was determined to film this on this particular day as I have a lot on my plate with art and commissions for the holidays, and this was the only day I could make time to do it without having to move around everything else in order to make room to do it on a different day. Irie makes her first and only appearance in week 1. I couldn't find any pictures of her in peach. I'm pretty sure this dress is pink, but it was on the peachier side, so it passed enough that I could use it without it standing out too much from the rest of the spread. My mild liner was a very orange toned peach, so I colored over it with a little pink pencil crayon to give it a little more of a pinky tone so it would match the rest of the spreads better. When doing the days of the week, I accidentally included an extra day, so I had to get creative and cover it up. This wouldn't be a journaling video of mine without a mistake somewhere, so there you go. I got a chance to use a few of the extra pictures I had left over that I didn't plan to use, and I actually liked the result a lot better than the original plan I had for the spread. Week 2 is kind of hard to do because it was the week that Shorty passed, and that was rather emotional for me. I considered skipping week 2 for that reason alone, but for the sake of completeness, I decided to include it. We're already at the end of November, so these spreads aren't actually usable anyway. I'll be copying the to-do lists I created on my phone over the course of November onto the pages once I've completed the spreads, so it would only be the last week of November going into December that I'll actually be using in real time. Because I knew that this week was blank, I probably could have filled the pages more as there isn't anything to write, but I chose to do it as I would have if I'd done it at the beginning of the month, assuming I was going to be using the pages. I did fill up the pages a little more than I originally planned with some of the extra pictures I had. Week 3 starts off with a mini calendar. This week was where I started slowly returning to living life, as I spent the entirety of week 2 crying and playing Animal Crossing New Horizons in my family's living room all day so I could avoid being in my bedroom as much as possible. Just as I was starting to feel ready to do things again, I got a bunch of commissions over the weekend after someone posted their wooden blocks that they bought from my shop page on our local Facebook community page. It was really nice to have something to focus on and put my energy towards just as I was starting to feel ready to take art and creative hobbies on again. So my to-do lists were a little more full this week. When writing out the days of the week, the angle I had to hold my hand at was weird, and I was rushing, so they turned out quite sloppy. I think it looks a little cute, and there's maybe some charm to it, or maybe it's just sloppy. Either way, it is what it is, so we're moving on. The final week needed a lot of space as it covers a week and a half. I decided to do a small mood board type thing at the top left, so after spending an absurd amount of time deciding on the order of placement, I finally got to taping them down. I left the days of the week rather basic, and I actually find myself preferring this simple style these days. I then went back through and did some doodles and such. I don't have a single roll of washi tape or sticker in peach colors, so doodling with my peach mild liner was the best I could do for decorations. I returned to the monthly page and quickly threw together the calendar as I was running out of time and still needed to clean up all of my supplies before going out. She showed up just as I finished the monthly page, and then I was like running around like a chicken with my head cut off to get stuff together and do a quick clean of the table because my mom would kill me if I left it a mess, so I wasn't able to finish the final filming of the results until I got home 4 hours later. That said, here they are. I wish I could have done more with the monthly page as it's so boring and not what I wanted, but it didn't really matter as the month is already over. I think my favorite spread this month is by far week 1, with spread 2 and 4 rounding out my top 3. I really loved the colors this month and how pretty and delicate it all looked. I'll be back with December's video very soon. I plan on having it done within the first week of December so I can actually get some use out of it. Can you guess what the final color of the year is? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next bullet journal with me video.